You want the kind of story that hooks you right in the gut, sweeps you up in a whirlwind of petty tyranny, fraud, and good old-fashioned neighbor drama, one that makes you shake your head, laugh out loud, and maybe even wince in secondhand embarrassment. So let's do this the only way that makes sense. As a confession, a warning, and, in the end, a victory lap for every homeowner who's ever wanted to put a fraud in their place. I still remember the exact second my dream of peaceful, HOA-free living turned into a sideshow. The smell of cardboard and fresh-cut grass, my moving boxes scattered across the lawn, sun warming my face, and this absolute unit of a woman marching onto my property waving a manila folder like it was a court summons. "This property is illegally occupied," she shouts, voice like a cop with a quota. She's got the posture of someone who's never heard the word no and doesn't plan to start today. Now, I did my homework. I'm Mark, a civil engineer, serial overpreparer, bit of a control freak. This 1,800 square foot farmhouse? I picked it because it was outside any HOA. Not just by a little county records, title insurance, 3 real estate attorneys, and an original land grant from the 1870s all say the same thing. Maplewood Heights HOA ends about 200 feet that way, and my place is gloriously free. No one tells me how to mow my grass or what color my mailbox should be. That's the dream, right? But here comes Karen Mitchell, clipboard in hand, spouting off about immediate compliance with community standards, like she's the sheriff of not my town. For a second, I figure maybe there's been a mistake, some county annexation I missed. I try being polite. I show her the documents, boundary maps, legal opinions, historical surveys, the whole engineer's parade of proof. She doesn't even look. Those records are outdated. I have current HOA authority maps. Here's where the flags start going up. Her official papers have the font of a junior high science project and seals that look like they were made with a potato stamp. But she says it with so much confidence that, for a heartbeat, I wonder if I missed something. Judy, my wife, steps out, the high school teacher, and you do not want to try the fake authority routine on her. She gives Karen's papers a look, deadpan as a jury foreman. "Where are the originals?" she asks. Karen's mask slips. Suddenly we're illegally questioning HOA authority. And she's shrieking about board decisions you don't get to interrogate. Now, I'm all for a good debate, but the thing about authority is real authority welcomes scrutiny. They want you to ask questions because they've got the answers. Karen, meanwhile, is allergic to basic verification. I suggest, let's call the county office. They'll settle it. Karen goes nuclear. County records are irrelevant. HOA authority supersedes all. You ever have one of those moments where you realize you're not dealing with a rational person, but someone living in an entirely different universe? That's where I was. She storms off, hissing illegal like it's a magic word, and drops a receipt $87.54, HOA boundary update, at Print Palace. Timestamp the day before. Yesterday. I just found my smoking gun. Turns out, this president isn't just overstepping, she's manufacturing her own authority. The receipt's vague wording gives me a chill. What if this isn't just about me? So I start digging. Called Maplewood Heights HOA direct, figured Karen would be on the board roster. The office manager sounds helpful, but when I ask for Karen Mitchell, she pauses, then says, "Sir, we don't have anyone by that name. Our president is David Chin." Not only is Karen not on the board, she's not even a blip in their records. She's lying about the easiest thing to check. Now my curiosity is in overdrive. I dig into her digital footprint. She used to work at an insurance company, lost the job 8 months ago. That's about when her social media turned from vacation photos to rants about community standards and compliance. And then I start seeing the complaints, 47 in 6 months, all about mailbox colors, garden gnomes, fence heights, everyone with a little dollar amount next to it. Folks actually paid her. $50 here, $75 there, good people, just trying to stay out of trouble. I meet Bob Wilson, retired military, during his evening walk. "You met our neighborhood scammer yet?" he asks, voice half relieved, half tired. Turns out, half the street knows Karen's fake, but nobody wants the drama of calling her out. She made me pay $60 for a mailbox violation before I caught on. Bob grumbles. Flipping through the neighborhood group chat, it's a litany of fraud holiday decoration fines, garden gnome infractions, even threats of foreclosure against old folks on fixed incomes. She's pulled in thousands. But here's where it gets cinematic. I take that receipt to Print Palace. The clerk recognizes Karen immediately. Oh yeah, she's in all the time. Wants everything official lamination, heavy paper, color seals. He pulls up her order history. Hundreds of documents, all for fake violations, notices, even letterhead for fake committees. This isn't just petty fraud. It's a full-blown operation. That night, Karen calls me, demanding $200, compliance fee, or legal action. The call comes from her old insurance office's number. It all clicks. She took her collections experience and went rogue. Now I need hard evidence, not just suspicions. So, I install security cameras just covering the street and public areas. Judy's on board now, especially after she realizes Karen's been preying on the elderly. The footage I get is unsettling. Karen's up late, printing and laminating documents, rehearsing violation scenes, even prepping folders by neighborhood. She's got a system and she's good at it. Night 2, I catch Mrs. Peterson, our sweet elderly neighbor, handing Karen an envelope cash payment, hands trembling. Karen's whole con relies on intimidation and trust, exploiting folks who just want to avoid trouble. By day 4, I see Karen planting fake violation notices in my mailbox, then photographing the setup from every angle, even timestamping her phone in the shots. She's building airtight case files. If you didn't know better, you'd swear she was legit. So, time to set the trap. Next time Karen calls, I play along. Sure, I'm willing to comply. Can I see full documentation, board minutes? Contact info for the board. Karen shows up in her best boss lady suit, wheels in a briefcase, lays out a stack of fake records, board minutes, compliance forms, fake complaints from neighbors who don't exist. I ask to verify other board members. She freaks. Says that's confidential. I press for financial records. Now I'm illegally demanding secrets. She gets defensive, angry, legalese leaking out of her like a broken faucet. Time for my move. Karen, I have video footage of you making these documents and planting them in mailboxes. She explodes, threatens to call the police for illegal surveillance. And she actually does. The officers arrive, and Karen, confident as ever, presents her fake folder. Accuses me of squatting, surveilling officials. The cops listen, but I hand over my evidence. Title deed, legal opinions, and most damning video of Karen staging violations. Once they see the footage, the switch flips. They call the real HOA. Get confirmation Karen's never been on the board. She loses, accuses everyone of conspiracy, presents a fake police report, badly forged at that. They warn her about filing false reports and fraud, but she's still ranting as they escort her away. Here's the kicker: the fallout doesn't end there. David Chun, the actual HOA president, calls a meeting. Karen shows up, tries to take charge, waving her paperwork and screaming illegal conspiracy in front of half the neighborhood. But David calmly rolls out the real records, original incorporation documents, meeting minutes, bank statements, member lists. One by one, neighbors stand up and recount how Karen scammed them. Mrs. Peterson's garden gnome violation, Bob's mailbox fine, threats of foreclosure against retirees. And yet, Karen's so deep in her lies, she tries to double down. She returns with fresh fake documents, rants about illegal viral videos, and yes, tries to claim the internet is breaking the law. But with her fraud laid bare, her victims come forward, the bank records get subpoenaed, and the total theft is pegged at $2,400 across 3 neighborhoods. Karen gets charged with felony theft, forgery, and impersonating an official. The final courtroom scene is so surreal you'd think it was scripted. Karen's attorney begging her to take a plea. Karen presenting new fake, federal HOA documents. The judge warning her about contempt. She finally takes the deal. Probation, mandatory therapy, restitution. Turns out, unemployment and personal crisis led her down a rabbit hole of fake authority, but now, after therapy and a real job at a real estate office, she's back to reality, and the community is stronger for it. Maplewood Heights gets new safeguards verification websites, fraud hotlines, print shops checking credentials. The phrase illegal becomes a neighborhood joke. The property values go up. And best of all, that viral video educates thousands about checking authority before handing over cash. Still, there was one last twist. Weeks after the trial, an anonymous envelope erased a photo of Karen with two strangers. Documents spread across a coffee shop table. On the back, "She's not working alone." Makes you wonder, right? How many other presidents are out there, one printer and a clipboard away from scamming another neighborhood? So let me ask you, have you ever discovered someone's lies went way deeper than you imagined? Drop your story in the comments. Justice isn't always a straight line, but sometimes the bad guys get what's coming. And sometimes the lesson that sticks is the one that costs the most to learn. If this story of suburban karma made you smile or roll your eyes, hit like, and tell me, do you trust your HOA? Or are you checking receipts from now on?